Good afternoon and welcome to our Midday Mull for Saturday, the 25th of July. Continuing to read through Mark's Gospel in Mark chapter 7, Jesus again has a confrontation with the scribes and Pharisees. This time they accuse his disciples of not washing their hands before eating and therefore eating with unclean hands, breaking the law and being defiled. And in verse 14 we told Jesus called the crowd and said, "Listen to me, everyone, and understand this. Nothing outside a person can defile them by going into them. Rather, it's what comes out of the person that defiles them." After he left the crowd and entered the house, his disciples asked him about this parable. "Are you so dull?" he asked. "Don't you see that nothing that enters a person from the outside can defile them? For it doesn't go into their hearts, but into their stomach, and then out of the body." Mark then has brackets. In saying this, Jesus declared all food clean. Close brackets. He went on, "What comes out of a person is what defiles them. For it is from within, out of a person's heart, that evil thoughts come: sexual immorality, theft, murder, adultery, greed, malice, deceit, lewdness, envy, slander, arrogance, and folly. All these evils come from inside and defile a person." And I was struck by that little comment that we have in the brackets. In saying this, Jesus declared all foods clean. Because clearly it wasn't that, as Jesus said that, the disciples looked at one another and said, "Oh, that means all foods are clean." Rather, Mark, writing the gospel years later, inserts that because he now understands what Jesus meant. If you read through the rest of Acts and much of the New Testament, it is an issue that the early church struggled with and wrestled with. And you have that vision of Peter, where a sheet is let down from heaven with all sorts of animals. And God says, "Get up and eat." He said, "Oh, I haven't eaten anything unclean. I'm not doing that now." And then he's sent to go to Cornelius, and God says, "Don't call anything unclean that I've said is clean." We have Paul and Peter confronting one another over how much of the Jewish ritual law believers had to keep. So this was something that was worked out over years. And when they came to the insight, they began to understand all that Jesus had said. And so this little insert in saying this, Jesus declared all food clean, was probably Mark reflecting, as he was writing the gospel, what Jesus said then and clarifying it because of where they were as he wrote. And that is how we live. We don't have to worry about what we eat. And in saying all food is clean, it doesn't say all food is healthy, so watch the junk food. It doesn't say all food is nice, so Brussels sprouts are off the menu. But that is not because of anything ritual or religious. That is purely for taste. Instead, we need to watch what comes out of us. And we just pray that God, that we'll have love and joy and peace, patience, kindness and goodness, faithfulness, gentleness and self-control coming out of us. So we are set free from the bondage of the law, but free to be shaped like Christ and to reflect him in the world. Be blessed.